What's up, guys? It's Bandit FX. Today's July 15th, 2021, and this is the Asian session breakdown for pound yen. So let's take a look at the daily time frame. We just had a daily candle close here just about hour and a half ago. So we are coming down here. We are bearish. Overall, it looks like we're starting to make lower highs and lower lows here on the daily time frame. Um, Taking a look at the 4 hour. Actually, let me switch it back to the daily real quick. So what I think this is already is an upper wick for a continuation down. Just looking at the daily time frame and just seeing that this low actually broke the previous, and we are making a lower high than the previous, and we're starting to come down here. So this is basically what this tells me is that this is an upper wick for a price to continue down. So we're more biased towards sells looking at the daily time frame, bringing it down to the 4 hour. Um, we don't have a support here formed yet on the 4 hour time frame as we're still in the first hour and a half of the 4 hour candle, but we can mark off a 4 hour resistance here at 152,400. Taking a look down over here to our left, 151,200, we do have a support formed. Um, but let's break it down to the hour. Okay, so we do have a support here down on the hourly time frame. Let me just mark this out real quick. This is in the area of 151,650. So this is where our most recent support is. We are basically right now in this range. Now I'm just going to make this a little bit cleaner. Basically, so you guys can see it better, that we are in basically just a big range. Let me measure this real quick. 93 pip range. So plenty of room to take a trade. But taking a look at it, we are coming into Asian session. Typically, there isn't that much volume in Asian session, but sometimes you do get a lot of volume. But just judging on the fact that we did have a very eventful day in London and in New York session, chances are it might consolidate here. But nevertheless, let's just continue to mark out these zones. So this is not the most recent price action, but the reason that I am going to put this level on here is that um, there was a minor resistance here, and it did act as support as well. So just taking a look at that, it's just a way for me to gauge my eyes as, hey, this may be an area of concern where we may continue down. So more or less, it's like a range within inside of a range. But um, taking a look to the left here as far as taking sells, this isn't the most clean price action, but if you do go up to the 1 hour time frame, yeah, it's still pretty sloppy there too. So ideally, what I'm going to want to see is this low get broken before we could take a sell. And this is just solely based off of the daily bias. Um, like I said before, we'll switch back to the daily time frame. If price, price made a high up here, right? And our most recent low when price did that was right here. Then we made a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, now a lower high. Chances are we're going to come down to make a lower low. I see price coming down to basically about this level before, we get a direction of, hey, are we going to get a bigger bounce here, or, continue the upside, or are we going to break through and continue down for GJ? But let me just look at the weekly time frame real quick because I didn't actually do that. So looking at the weekly, we are bearish. We had a big rejection last time, but this looks like it's coming down to fill the wick, which is also a good confirmation bias that, hey, we're coming down to fill this wick. We can get a sell trade out of this. So weekly is showing sells, daily is showing sells. The 4 hour looks like an upper wick is being formed. Might retest 151,950, or basically just under 152 on the 4 hour time frame before we do get a continuation down. So keep in mind, this analysis does work for both Asian and London session. Every time I do these breakdowns at the end of the day towards Asian and London, the reason that I do them together is because if the move doesn't happen in Asian, it should happen in London, because a lot of the times in Asian session we do get that consolidation phase. So that's just something to keep in mind. But even though this isn't the most clean traffic, I will be taking a sell based off of this, strictly because of the daily time frame and the way the 4 hour is lining up. Because remember, this level is going to be the retest for the 4 hour, and then once we break the low, that's a confirmation for price to continue down. So overall, depending on how you play it, whether you're trading it based off the hourly time frame, 30-minute time frame, um, we are going to be looking for sells below 151,650. That is the goal here. So we got price ranging. We're looking for sells below 151,650. I'm going to go ahead and just write down that this is not the cleanest traffic, but basically what our bias is. Okay. So this is what I'm going to mark out here. Not the cleanest traffic to the left here, but like I said, this is the daily low over here. So jumping back to the daily time frame, that being the daily low, when we get that break below, that's a confirmation that this was an upper wick, and we are going to continue down to our next support at 151, 175. So jumping back to the 1 hour time frame, yeah, we're just basically in this range for now. Nothing too exciting. I'm not going to be taking any trades in here, although this is a pretty decent size range, 30 pips. Me personally, I'm going to be waiting for the stronger confirmation for the daily bias to push price down even further. That way, we're set up to let our runners run when we do secure that initial percentage, whatever it is. Whenever you guys like to secure profits, I typically like to secure them at a 1-to-1, but I will leave a runner, and when I do, I like to have it set up on higher time frames to where it's going to run in that direction for a longer period of time, and you're going to be able to make the most out of that runner. So, like I said, sells below this level, which happens to be the daily low. That's basically what we're looking at for GJ. Let's just hypothetically speaking look at buys, right? Like how could a buy scenario play out here? So, in order for buys to make sense, there is no daily support yet, so there's no daily confirmation that we could take a buy here. We just broke below this previous support and closed under it. Um, this daily candle's obviously just closed bearish, very strong bearish candle with a bottom wick, so it's not like we're just going to get that no wick close and then price has the chance to shoot straight up. We should at least fill this wick first. Now, for buys to happen, to get that daily confirmation, we're going to want to see the bottom wick formed, not break the low of the previous daily candle, and then continue up. Then, if we start ranging here for a while, we create that bottom wick, and then we break the high, which is basically the 4 hour high at 151,955. Then we could take a buy position because now you have the confirmation of there's a support formed on say the 4 hour time frame at the daily support, or not daily support but the daily low, the previous daily low. Now if we're going to start coming up and start trending up, candles are going to start making higher highs on the 4 hour time frame. That is a confirmation that hey, we could take a buy position. And there's really two ways to look at it. Obviously on the higher time frames we're trending down, but if this were to be a reversal, just hypothetically speaking, um, where we're at right now is the 618 on the fib. So um, for buys to be valid, we're going to need that support formed here and then the break of the top of this range. That would be an ideal buy scenario. I'm not going to label it on this chart for now. Um, but just keep in mind that that is what I am looking for because the price action is not there to support it yet, so I'm not really going to label it. There's nothing for me to label. But like I said, if we come down, we create another level of support here and then continue back up and break out the top of this range. This is a confirmation that hey, we failed to break the daily low. 4 hours flipped bullish. We're breaking the highs, and then we have all this clean traffic here to carry price all the way up to 152,600. So feel free to pause it here, screenshot it, whatever. I am going to post this in my Discord. I always post all of my trade breakdowns in the Bandit FX Discord. If you take a look at the description below, I will leave a link there for you guys to join. It's totally free. We do New York sessions every morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern, and we post Asian, London, and crypto analysis as well. So, yeah, guys, feel free to join. Let me know if you like this video. Please leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Bandit FX YouTube.